So that was true, you were going to go to the Bulls?
Yeah, because we were looking for homes.
Right.
We were actually looking for homes in Chicago.
I had actually heard that, but I didn't believe it.
When I retire, I don't want people to say, okay, he only won because of Shaq. So therefore, I knew, okay, I gotta go.
Today, we live out a reality where Kobe did, in fact, go to the Chicago Bulls, as he begins his journey of trying to win without Shaq, all while chasing the shadow of the greatest of all time. And he would actually be joining a very solid roster filled with several noteworthy young pieces that in real life, without Bryant, were able to secure the second best defense in the NBA as they go on to win 47 games. So it should come as no shock that once you add in a bona fide superstar like Kobe Bryant to the mix, averaging about 27, 6, and 6, that he would propel this Bulls team even further, making it to the playoffs with a 53-win record as they prepare to face Washington. And it wouldn't take long for Kobe to show the world just how great he could be without Shaq, leading the charge for Chicago as they dominate the Wizards in every aspect on their way to a round 1 sweep. But the true test was waiting just around the corner. A rematch for Kobe with the Detroit Pistons. And despite his new well-rounded supporting cast, the Pistons just seemed to have the Mamba all figured out, because he put up a good fight. But in the end, it would be Detroit ending his season short of his goals. However, while he faced defeat, they could hold their heads up high. Chicago had a legit young core brewing, and their time would likely come soon enough. Meanwhile, the NBA Finals will go on to mirror our reality, leaving little change so far in our sim, but moving forward, the entire NBA landscape was about to change forever.
With the third pick in the 2005 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Chris Paul from Wake Forest University.
After losing Kobe, LA would fall to the 9th seed, where they would defy the odds to luckily get the third pick to take CP3, effectively setting them in a new direction for the next era, which wouldn't be the only immediate domino effect of Kobe heading to Chicago, because after missing out on Shaq, Miami would pivot this offseason to trading for Elton Brand, giving Wade a legit running mate in the East. And these changes aren't limited to this season. Over the coming years, all of NBA history will be rewritten, as we not only follow Kobe's career, but also dive into the impact felt around the league. However, that'll all come soon enough. As for now, we shift our focus back to round 2 of the playoffs. Again, Kobe was face to face with the very team that eliminated him the previous 2 years, and this installment would be just as challenging. Kobe would of course find ways to get his, forcing his way to leading all scorers in the series, but as the double teams continue to come his way, the inexperience would be blatant from the youth around him, struggling to execute in the moment. And the veteran Pistons were playing into that narrative, making the other Bulls have to beat them. And despite Chicago having the better team on paper, the Pistons would still get this push to a Game 7, one that would end up in a bloodbath for the Chicago Bulls, stunning the basketball world as a result. Kobe himself will play well, but it was a team game at the end of the day, and the other 4 starters just weren't ready for the moment. Again, the Pistons would be running the East as they make it to the finals, where NBA history would change even more. The Dallas Mavericks were going on to win their franchise's first title in 2006, as Dirk can take a sigh of relief as he finally wins a ring. But that still leaves us with Kobe Bryant, yet again falling short to the Pistons, interestingly enough, an exact mirrored parallel to the very man whose shadow he is chasing. Just like Mike in the 80s, he was struggling with Detroit, but for very different reasons, as Jordan's difficulties were primarily due to a lackluster supporting cast, whereas Kobe in the modern day was surrounded by talent, as his struggles would stem from his ability to lead his young team to get the most out of them, leaving us at a crossroads where we wait to see how Kobe responds. Will he continue to play second fiddle to the Pistons, or will he step up as the leader for the next great dynasty? Well, one thing for sure was that he would lead by example with his work ethic. The very next day, starting the offseason with some training, and it would all pay off. This season being crowned as the NBA MVP, 1 year earlier than he did in real life with LA. And it would come as part of possibly his best all-around season he's had in his career so far, scoring over 29 points a night to lead the league, while also bringing down 6 boards and setting up his teammates for 7 assists in the evening. And it wasn't just Kobe who should be celebrated. The entire Bulls young core was emerging, as Luol in particular was benefiting greatly from a summer of work with Bryant, as he rises to a new career high in points per game as part of his first All-Star season, which would be enough for the Bulls to secure their best record in 10 years. But their true test was still ahead. The entire world was still waiting to see what they can do in the postseason, with a matchup against Detroit looming again. Can Kobe Bryant surpass his kryptonite? Well, to make things short, yes, he absolutely could, because the Mamba was coming out making a statement. After 3 years straight of watching Detroit celebrate victory, Bryant refused to meet that fate again, leading Chicago to a clean sweep over the Pistons, finally overcoming that hurdle, only to be introduced to a new one. In the conference finals, waiting for him was the emerging LeBron James and his Cavaliers, where for now their lack of experience would leave this series as one-sided. The up-and-coming Bulls, led by the undisputed best player in basketball at this point, would totally overwhelm a Cleveland team that just had a season well worth writing headlines around. And despite this matchup clearly favoring Bryant in their first meeting, in time you can all but guarantee that these two will meet again, for what's sure to produce one of the greatest rivalries the NBA will ever see. But for now, we continue our story with Kobe, where the Bulls will prepare to take on the defending champs in the finals, who of course had Dirk Nowitzki in the spotlight, the runner-up for MVP this season, only barely eclipsed by Kobe Bryant, which wouldn't be his last time coming in second place, because this was clearly the Bulls' year. In his first finals without Shaq, Kobe was playing with an extra chip on his shoulders, averaging well above 30 points a night in this championship series, completely leaving Dallas in the dust, as Chicago caps off their season with an NBA title after battling with the Mavs for 5 games. In a playoff run that was nothing short of dominant, Kobe can finally put all the doubts to rest. He didn't need Shaq to win in this league, finally out of his shadow and creating a legacy of his own, taking the honors as the finals MVP, and as he claims his 4th title, his focus would shift to chasing Mike. But as we'd see firsthand come 2008, he wasn't the only player chasing the GOAT title. Again, LeBron was clashing head-to-head with our star, and this time around the Bulls weren't so securely in the lead. Kobe and his group were playing up to par as expected, making an effort to defend their title, but the difference this year was all on James, this season's MVP, who has stepped up in a big way. He was playing like a man possessed, and for every win that the Bulls would pull out, he would respond with just as commanding a win of his own, all the way throughout the series until it was knotted up after 6. Setting the stage for a season-deciding Game 7 in Chicago, where LeBron is looking to take the throne as the new face of the league, and Kobe is looking to extend his pursuit of greatness with another finals appearance, leading us to an instant classic, the two top players in all of basketball fighting for supremacy with neither side letting up. Late in the game and absolutely exhausted, Cleveland and Chicago stand in a total stalemate, putting this budding rivalry in the spotlight where only time will tell who comes out on top. There is 2 minutes remaining in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Cavaliers and the Bulls are deadlocked at 89 apiece. Kobe and LeBron, a battle to the end. LeBron James driving on the all-defense second-team Luol Deng, picks up his dribble. They reset it out to LeBron again. LeBron driving it in, fighting with Deng. Deng is playing great defense. He's there. LeBron fighting for the board, but Deng secures it. An absolutely phenomenal possession for Luol. Kobe now on the other end. Bryant with it. The spin move. The pull of midi. Kobe to take the lead late. What a shot by Bryant. 90 seconds left. LeBron driving to the paint, this time forcing the issue, but he's denied by Chandler. The Bulls living up to their reputation as one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Deng driving it in, kicks out to Kirk Heinrich. They're slowing it back down. Eddie Curry with it now, trying to attack the smaller LeBron. He throws a crazy pass. Big Z with the interception. LeBron James now on the other end. Luol is still there, getting a screen from Big Z. LeBron driving into the paint, wide open in the lane. His dunk ties the game back up. Kobe and LeBron battling it out down the stretch. Kobe again, one-on-one with his matchup. Drives by, blows by him to the paint. He draws the foul. Kobe hit the first free throw. I expect the second one to go as well. It does. Lamar Odom on the inbound. Cleveland now, only 50 seconds left. They have to score quick here. They call a timeout. Coming out of the huddle, let's see what Cleveland has drawn up. They're trying to get the ball inbound into LeBron. No surprise. They find Udry. They get it out to LeBron. He drives right in the wall. The spin move. Getting into the paint. LeBron attacking interior. His hook shot for the tie. It just barely rattles out. Dang the rebound. The Bulls now with an opportunity to close this one out. Kirk wide open in the corner. He finds the bottom of the net in the biggest moment of the season. What a shot. 5-point game. 30 seconds remaining. LeBron going to the paint. Trying to fight back in this one. He forces the layup. Can't get it to go. Dang to the line. And unless the young LeBron James has a miracle up his sleeve, this one should be all but over. We'll at least give him the benefit of the doubt, though. Udry for 3 to keep him in it. It's no good. And the Chicago Bulls outlast the Cavaliers. After a thriller, for now, the Mamba continues to outshine LeBron, and Chicago looks ahead to their next challenge. Where waiting was Carmelo, who now without the Lakers in his way was actually able to make a finals appearance, but just the same as real life, he would struggle with the concept of defeating Kobe in a playoff series, as Bryant continues to show the world just how special he is. Going back to back, locking in the repeat, putting the Mamba in elite company as he wins his 5th. And with as well built as this Bulls team was, it was entirely possible he could be winning more very soon. But of course, nothing was guaranteed as a new wave of stars enters the league in the 08 draft as Sacramento has the first pick.
The Sacramento Kings select Derrick Rose from the University of Memphis.
And as Kobe enters the second half of his career, these will be the next players he's competing with, as the league around him continues to evolve, with Aldridge teaming up with Pierce in 06, or the Lakers building around their new core of CP3 and Odin. New cornerstones of franchises emerging with KD in New Orleans, and of course, most notably, the ever-prominent East. As for the 3rd season in a row, their conference would be home to the MVP, as Wade becomes a first-time recipient of the award, meaning the 3 best players in ball were all fighting for the top seed all season, as Miami, Chicago, and Cleveland all claimed the best records in their conference, which would be a big advantage for the Bulls. Landing seed 1 meant they'd have a relatively easy time in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, while on the other end of the bracket, Miami and Cleveland were in an absolute dogfight to 7 games before the Cavs ultimately earned yet another rematch with Kobe. Except this time, the Cavs brought LeBron some help, adding in Ray Allen for a scoring punch. However, as the Bulls start off this series hot, it didn't seem like the new addition mattered. The Bulls looked like the perfectly constructed roster, and the three-peat looked like only a matter of time as they go up after 3. But LeBron was about to shift all the momentum, coming out of a timeout tied up late in a Game 4.
1.5 remaining. James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer. Stuns the
Chicago has been stunned. A playoff buzzer beater game winner has knocked the wind out of them, and LeBron could see blood. Carrying that momentum into a pivotal Game 5, he wouldn't let his foot off the gas, snatching the lead straight away from Chicago. And while Kobe would be able to regain composure with a winning Game 6, it only delayed the inevitable. With an enormous Game 7, LeBron would officially be turning this into a full-fledged rivalry. He has officially defeated Kobe to get a trip to his first finals, meaning our team's 3P hopes are officially over. But the stage has absolutely been set for an all-time era to take place in the East for years to come. In the meantime, however, it would be the West now taking the throne, as Carmelo Anthony was back. And after 2 straight Game 7s, LeBron and the Cavs were too tired to keep up. In this reality, Melo was an NBA champion, potentially benefiting more than anyone so far in this experiment. And while it wasn't obvious yet, this was the first domino in a massive change coming to the league. Following a finals loss, LeBron was then going on to being bounced in round 1 of the 2010 playoffs, sending him into an offseason as a free agent with a big decision looming, which of course in turn made the Bulls playoff run as easy as ever this season, with the only real challenge being Miami as they coast to a 3rd finals in 4 years. Where waiting for them would be the San Antonio Spurs, a team that Kobe has plenty of history with. But while he didn't have another superstar teammate like Shaq as he did the last time he faced San Antonio, this time he did in fact have the better all-around team, which would be more than enough to practically run away with this series after 2, all but tasting the success of ring number 6. However, Bryant wouldn't celebrate early.
You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or? Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
And him hesitating was fully warranted, because while most would shrug off a Game 3 loss, things would get a bit scarier after San Antonio ties everything up after 4. And then the worries would really sink in when a Game 5 at home would still result in a loss, as in the blink of an eye, the Spurs take control, which would carry all the way into Game 6. Back at home, they just couldn't miss. And the Bulls' only saving grace was Kobe was nearly perfect to keep Chicago within reach, only a few points behind late as they attempt to force a Game 7. But in Kobe's mind, it shouldn't have even gotten to this point. And if he loses here, the criticism would be massive. The Bulls are down by 3 late in the game, but there's still time left. Just under 2 minutes to go. Kobe Bryant attempting to force a Game 7 on the road. Kirk Hinrich with it now. He finds Kobe. Kobe's 3 to tie the game. He gets it to go. And just like that, this one is all knotted up. On the other end now of the Spurs, it's going to come down to defense. Chicago's strong point. Tony Parker went along with Kirk. Tony Parker stepping it back. Up and under Hinrich. His layup is no good. $1 million move. 5-cent finish on the break of the Bulls. Kobe Bryant with it now. He throws a lob. What is that? Miles with the rebound somehow. They're going down low to Tim Duncan now, switching it back and forth. They finally get the ball into the hands of Tony Parker, who's getting a screen. Parker coming around the screen, slowing down the offense now. Kirk Hinrich is still there. Parker attacking. Parker all the way, draws the foul and the basket. Just an absolutely insane sequence happening before our eyes. The Spurs go back up by 3. Chicago sloppy on one end, San Antonio sloppy in this end, but they find a way to get the job done. 60 seconds remaining. Kobe has it. He's getting the screen from Chandler. They go down low to Luol Deng. The secondary score an option. He pump fakes. I don't like this. You got to get back to Kobe. Kobe has a Manu on him. Kirk Hinrich, one-on-one with Tony Parker. The 2 point guards attacking each other. Hinrich coming around the screen. Hinrich, he's got to pull it back. 4 seconds. You got to do something. Hinrich, he's going to have to force a shot. Hinrich can't get it to go. 35 seconds left in the game. San Antonio has it. They score here. It might be over. You need a stop if you're the Bulls. Parker out to Duncan at the 3. He's swinging over to Miles. Manu trying to get freed up. He does. He's open for 3. It's no good. They catch a break. Timeout, Chicago. The Bulls got unbelievably lucky there as Manu misses a wide open 3. Coming out the huddle. Kirk Hinrich has it. You're down by 3. You don't necessarily need the 3. You can go for a quick 2, play the foul game. They find Kobe, who pulls the 3 for the tie. It's not good. Kobe misses Timmy to the line. Duncan hit the first free throw. The second one will put them up by 5. Chicago season collapsing in the final moments here in San Antonio in a Game 6. Duncan, free throw 2 is good. Chicago uses their last timeout. Frankly, the Bulls have not put up much of a fight here late in this game. Some sloppy play, poor execution. They still have time, but they are going to need a little bit of luck. Kirk pulls a quick 3, and this one is gonna be over. Chicago falls flat again. San Antonio celebrating their triumph as question marks flood Kobe's narrative. Are we starting to enter a new era? Is the Mamba's time at the top over? And these doubts may very well be justified.
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Because after failing to win a title, LeBron would still join Miami, making a big 3 along Wade and Elton Brand this time as Bosh stays put in Toronto, instantly propelling the headlines around this new super team, sort of leaving Kobe's story in the afterburner. But despite the spotlight shift, the Bulls were still wrestling for position in the standings with Miami all year long, and they believed they still had enough to overcome LeBron. Although once the conference finals rolled around, that confidence would quickly diminish. Miami was totally overwhelming Chicago's roster. They were built for defensive stability, but their lack of scoring threats outside of Bryant opened the door for the Heat to outclass them as they lose in 5, which would be the same story for the next 2 seasons as well, fighting to the conference finals just to lose to Miami, who was going on to win 2 of the next 3 finals, only barely losing to the Lakers in 2013. It was the beginning of a new era. LeBron was now the face of the league. completely eclipsing Kobe by now. But Bryant wasn't to blame. He was the 2013 MVP, as he had potentially his best season yet at age 34. The problem was, at this point, guys like Eddie Curry, Heinrich, and Chandler were all aging. And while Dame was still in his prime as an all-star, his offense wasn't enough to reliably give Kobe a second option. So with the window starting to close, the Bulls were about to get aggressive for one more shot. With the 2014 season rolling around, things were gonna look different, as Luol Deng would end up being shipped out to the San Antonio Spurs in a trade package. They were a veteran team that felt like Deng would be the missing piece for them to make another run at the title, which he may be. But in exchange, the Spurs didn't realize they were giving up a future superstar, sending Damian Lillard to Chicago in the deal, as the Bulls valued his scoring potential. And while he only averaged 9 a game off the bench for Parker, once he came to Chicago, he'd end up being exactly the scoring punch they needed, elevating his averages to over 20 points a night as he'd take home the Most Improved Player award. And once you pair that with Kobe averaging nearly 30 a night, and his best starting lineup he's had since his last title, the expectations would be sky high for our star.
Miami takes the series in 5. They advance to the Eastern Conference Final. Including the playoffs, the Heat have won 45 of their last 48. And it's the first time this season the Bulls have lost 4 in a row.
But unfortunately, they'd fall incredibly short of the lofty expectations, still losing to Miami in round 2. And while the Dame trade hasn't worked out for the Bulls so far, the Spurs, on the other hand, look to have made the right decision. In the finals against Miami, they were finally getting back to the top of the mountain for their first time since 2010. Winning the NBA championship, proving this Heat super team was in fact beatable, which was great news for Kobe. Without so many injuries in this reality, he was extending as he expects to play the next several years, meaning there was still time for him to get over what has been an insurmountable hurdle, and with the way he was playing, there was definitely hope. Still one of the best scores in basketball, along with a massive jump for Dame in year 3, and the Bulls were rolling all season long. But of course, the true test was the playoffs, where the first round was a good warm-up, defeating the young Giannis-led New York Knicks, before going on to round 2 for a bit more challenging duel with the young Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan. And while this one would last longer, still the Bulls would come out on top. All leading to the matchup that the world was waiting on, the annual rematch between the Mamba and the King. They have dueled in nearly every season in the playoffs for the last decade, with several series going down to the wire in climactic fashion, but this wouldn't be one. 38 points a night is what Bryant would average in this series. He was sick of losing to LeBron, and as the planets align with a budding Dame, as Wade and Brand have both slowed down at the same time, and the final result would be the most one-sided matchup between these two yet. There was no theatrics here, not much to talk about. Just simply the Bulls were finally heading back to the finals for a series against another member of the 03 draft, but he was far from their best player, paired also with an electrifying Derrick Rose dueling with Damian Lillard. And that wasn't all. They also had the league's most promising superstar in Stephen Curry, lighting the Bulls up from beyond 3, which on paper sounds like this one was over before it started. But the Bulls' one bright spot was with Sacramento playing small, putting Steph at the 2, it allowed Kobe to be a matchup nightmare. So while the Kings would be taking big game after big game, the Bulls would be doing the same, with the average margin of victory being 4 points a night in the series, as this one goes the distance to 7. And just to remind what's at stake in this game, Kobe is at 5 rings. A win here would match him with Mike, but a loss could put a nail in the coffin for his career. With younger teams rising, he may never have this chance again. So as Chicago trails late in the game, these may be the biggest minutes of Kobe's entire life. Chicago trails by 3 thanks to a 39-point eruption from Curry. Kobe trying to claw his team back in this one late. He's 1-on-1 with Steph. Kobe likes the match, drives to the paint, a difficult layup. He gets it up and over multiple Sacramento defenders to cut the lead to 1. The Kings now with it, Derrick Rose, 1-on-1 with Dame. It's an ISO game here late. Rose, Damian Lillard's playing fantastic defense. They're going to reset it over to Steph. They go right back to Derrick. Derrick getting the screen for Chris Bosh. Bosh, perfect execution on the pick and roll. He gets the dunk over Tyson Chandler. Kobe advances the ball past half court. Just under 2 minutes to go left in this game 7. Curry on him. Kobe blows by him all the way to the rim. A floater off the glass to cut it down to 1 again. Derek once again bringing the ball up the court. It's looking like it's Rose versus Kobe. Rose on the way. Corner 3 for Bosh. He can't get it to go. Chandler, a big rebound. A huge opportunity for Chicago. Down by 1, 90 seconds. Kobe, the pull-up for the lead. Oh, Kobe can't get it. Right with the board. Derrick Rose with it now. Curry. Damian Lillard's there. Tyson Chandler snatches the pass intended for Chris Bosh. Kobe on a break. Damian finds him. The pull-up midi. Kobe. Oh, no. Why did he shoot the wide-open 3? Or he could have drove it for the dunk. Rose with it on the other end. His pull-up 3 is no good. Everyone's missing left and right. 60 seconds to go. Kobe with the basketball. Curry is there on him. Kobe drives it. Another floater. Kobe for the lead. What a remarkable shot. The Kings ended up advancing the ball and called 2 timeouts because the 2K AI is not that intelligent. But now it all comes down to the defensive end for Chicago. Derrick Rose with the ball. It feels weird that he's playing against his hometown Chicago Bulls. Rose getting the screen from Bosh. Rose has a clear paint all the way. Draws the foul. Huge free throws for Derek here. Free throw 1 was good. The second free throw would give Sacramento the lead late. They're both good. Chicago calls a timeout. Coming out of the team huddle, Kobe prepares for what could be the biggest possession of his career. Ring 6 on the line. Taj on the inbound. They get it inbounded to Gerald Wallace. Wallace over to Chandler. You have to imagine. Swinging to Kobe. Wide open for 3. Oh my goodness. He blows the shot. Derrick Rose on the other end. 30 seconds to go. Chandler tries to draw the charge. Rose slows it down. They go back to Derrick. Blowing by Lillard. Rose to the paint. Chandler's there. Great defense. They get the stop they need. Kobe with it. Holding for the final shot. 20 seconds left. Kobe on the way. Draws the foul. A bit anticlimactic, but Kobe gets to the line. Kings who's there. Second to last timeout. The Bulls are now clinging on to a 1-point advantage late. The inbound to Derrick. Derrick trying to reclaim the lead here. They can't hold for the last shot if they wish. Derrick Rose, it looks like he's doing exactly that. 9 seconds to go. Curry is wide open. They did not find him, thank goodness. He's going for the pick and roll again with Bosh. Rose to pull up. Jay! Derrick Rose gets the shot to go. Unbelievable. That's cold-blooded. Following a D Rose stunner, 2.2 left in the game. Is Chicago gonna go to Dame or are they gonna go to Kobe? It looks like it's Dame. He was open for a moment. They find him. Lillard has to pull it over Rose for the win. Damian Lillard in a game 7. Unbelievable. The Bulls do it. Kobe ring 6. In the end, Damian Lillard saves the day, hitting arguably the greatest shot in basketball history as he helped Chicago reclaim dominance. But of course, this one meant most to Kobe, who in this very moment has just tied his idol Michael Jordan at 6 rings, forcing you to rethink the GOAT debates. And the best part was, Kobe still had a few more seasons left. So for the next years, Kobe and Dame will continue to dazzle the basketball world with great games as Kobe continues to play efficiently, all while Dame continues to improve game by game. But unfortunately, regardless of their great play, Kobe was past his prime at this point, and other younger teams were taken over. There would be no more finals appearances for our star, and honestly, that's okay. He may not be able to surpass Mike, but winning 6 puts him in elite company as he solidifies himself as one of the greatest to ever play for not 1, but 2 different franchises. As it's safe to say, the move to Chicago wouldn't have been a bad choice after all.